when I understand his grace, when I understand his character, then it makes me more willing to rush into his presence because I know that he is a God of love and that he has paid the price for my sins. What I know intellectually helps me to act differently. So one of the things that's been my prayer is, God, for the areas of my life that I struggle with, help me to see my sin the way that you see it. All right, not me. Let me not just approach it with my intellect, but help me to see this the way that you see it. So I'm not casually dealing with my sin. I'm not casually or passively dealing with my sin as if it's something I'll get to, but it is something that I am aggressively going after so that I can participate in my sanctification process of becoming more like you. That's what disciples do. We're aggressive in our sanctification. In our emotions, we're abstaining from fleshly lusts and becoming obedient from the heart. All right. So again, it's something in my emotions. I'm glad to do so. I'm angry about my sin. I'm sorrowful about my sin. There is a sorrow, what does the Bible say? A godly repentance has sorrow attached to it, where I'm not just sorry because I got caught, but I'm sorry. Are we still in the place where it grieves our heart when we sin, not because we're scared of the consequences, but because we know what it does to our relationship with Jesus Christ? Does everybody understand? Are we grieved by our sin because we know that God is not smiling upon our life? Are we grieved by our sin because we know that God has been too good for us to live the way that we have been living? I love it in Romans 2, where it says, for it is the goodness of God that brings about repentance in us. Aren't you glad that it's not the wrath of God that brings about repentance? Anybody ever been in a place where God, even God's, it's like, man, God's been too good for me to be acting like this. God, you done too much for me. I got to clean myself up. I got to do better because you've been so good to me. Aren't you glad that we don't serve a God that when we start sinning, he's like, all right, stop blessing him. Stop looking after his family. But God is like, the worse we are, God just keeps pouring out his goodness upon us. Again, it's like goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life, good days and bad days. And it's the goodness of God that leads us to repentance. That's what, man, I can go on.